the amount of followers that you have does not equate to the amount of dollars you have in your bank account.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It does not. I'm going to prove it to you right now, all right?
What's good? What's good? What's good, everybody? This is your guy Beez with EntrepreneurshipXposed, another episode where we're going into everything related to entrepreneurship with a twist of business acquisitions. And today we're going to talk about one of the most important things, I believe, when it comes to being a business owner. Y'all know already that I acquire businesses. Y'all know already that I'm acquiring cash flowing businesses that already exist, and they, especially from baby boomers who are retiring and they don't got successors, but they've been running this successful business all along without social media, without processes, without funnels. So these little things is how we can take the business to another level. And that's why we got the experts on here today, Stephen Blackburn and Stephen Johnson, rich from anywhere. And we're gonna completely expose social media growth hacks. What's good, fellas? How y'all doing?
What's good, man? Everything is blessed, brother. Appreciate you having us on, man.
Thank you.
We really do, man. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be on here and to spread these gems, these social media gems to your audience, to your listeners, man. Thank you.
Yeah. And before we even get started, I want to let y'all know right now, we have been known to drop like literally gems that will make y'all millions of dollars. So anybody who's watching right now, make sure you got a pen and a pad, because you never know what might come out during this right now. I'm just letting y'all know.
Yeah, I got a warning. It's called a spoiler warning. So if you're ready for this, let's go. I love it. Well, fellas, introduce yourselves and tell people a little bit more about, your backgrounds and how y'all became the experts on social media growth.
For sure, man. For sure. So my name's Stephen Johnson. I'm the co-founder of Rich From Anywhere. We're a marketing mentorship company that focuses on helping brands grow to exponential heights. All right. When I say exponential, I don't mean like little mediocre heights. I mean like exponential. We've taken brands from $900 a month to $52K a month. We've taken brands that are struggling to doing over $150K a month. We work with brands doing $200K plus a month. And our whole goal, this is our motto. Our whole thing is, we like to change lives for a living. That's what we do. That's why we're on these podcasts, is because we want to instill in you not only the skill set, but the belief that you can actually do it too, and you can get your brand to the next level.
That's it. Yeah. And at the core, like when we say we're an elite marketing mentorship company, our job, like you said, is to empower you, right? We used to be a marketing agency, and we used to run ads for companies, and we would get them results and stuff like that, but we didn't really find it as fulfilling. And so we got into the coaching side, right? And we started actually pouring into people and teaching people these strategies, and then watching them take our strategies and go off and blow their own businesses up by themselves without paying $5K a month, $10K, $15K a month in marketing agency retainers. That was like a whole nother level of fulfillment that kind of got us addicted, right? So we've been on this journey now for about 4 or 5 years now, and we've worked with thousands of companies across 17 or 18 different countries. It's been an awesome ride, but it didn't start that way. I want to let y'all know, all that sounds fancy and glossy right now, but I'm gonna let y'all know it didn't start that way. We started off as struggling artists, right? So and when I say struggling, like we had a little bit of a buzz, and we were making some dope music, like things were going all right, but we weren't making no money, right? Like we were like the typical struggling artists out here, like doing shows, not making any money. And so we were like, all right, listen, we got family, we got things, we got to bring some money in. So this whole thing literally started because we just needed to fund our music career. So we were like, all right, why don't we start up like an e-commerce store, and let's just take the money that we make from there and then fund our video shoots and our photo shoots and stuff like that. Cause that stuff gets expensive, man.
Thanks.
And so long story short, we ended up taking that company from zero to about $250,000 in sales in about 7 months right afterwards. And we both looked at each other like, yo, wait a minute. Like we're pretty good at this. Like we should be doing this.
Let's get into e-commerce.
You know what I'm saying? And then transitioning, and this is going to be interesting for you too. So what we ended up doing was we packaged that entire business up.
Okay, before you get to the episode, I just wanted to take another moment to say thank you to each and every one of you for supporting the channel. Entrepreneurship Exposed is starting to grow like crazy, and it's all thanks to you guys. Now, if you like the content, like the information that you're getting, like the guest speakers, like all of the strategies, then the way that you can support us is by subscribing to the channel below. Now, after you subscribe, you want to make sure that you also like every video. You comment on it if you can. And even more important is to click that notification bell. That notification bell will make sure that you get to see every single episode with all of this amazing information so that you can get started on your journey as an entrepreneur. All right, now back to the episode. Let's go.
And we sold it through Shopify Exchange. Right?
You speaking my love language, man.
So I'm speaking your language, right? So, and we did this so there's this thing called, anybody who's on Shopify, just know that there's a company out there called, a website called Shopify Exchange. Where businesses are literally out there, like Beez out there, like literally looking for businesses to acquire. So I want y'all to remember too, when you're out here running ads and you're building these businesses and things are like going rough and it's like, oh my God, why am I doing this? Always remember that you are building something that is an asset that can be acquired later. And you can get a lot of money on an exit if you know how to do it the right way, which I'm sure.
Yeah, and one thing we did too is we actually, when we packaged up the asset to sell it, we actually included other things inside of the packaging to make it more attractive for a buyer, right? So we actually included our Facebook ads training into the sale so that the next person that took on the company would know exactly what we were doing in order to be so profitable within our business. And that added to the value of the sale. So that's another tip for y'all looking to exit. Y'all might want to add digital assets, video assets that will assist the new owner in actually going about keeping that business afloat. So that's one thing that you could do as well.
There we go. So y'all said some spicy things already, man, because first and foremost, I love the fact that y'all are more about teaching a man to fish than fishing for them yourself, right? And that became powerful for y'all to then continue the coaching side of it rather than only running the ads for people. But then also what you're talking about, I mean, dang, if you're going to sell your house and you change the windows, it's going to, increase the value. You add a pool, it's going to increase the value. You selling your business and you're going to, add some digital assets in there as well, increase the value overall. Now, I would say this, though. I've moved away from the concept of exiting or flipping. Now, what do I mean by that? You should always have an exit plan in business, right? But flipping is something I was doing in the beginning because I was like, I can make a quick buck. Like, I've only bought it for this and I did a couple things, turn it around and I'm going to sell it. If you speak to any real estate expert, real estate investor, they're going to tell you, oh man, the one thing I wish that I could have done different is I should have never sold those original pieces of real estate that I own. Like, if I had it now, it would have been worth so much more, blah, blah, blah. So I've been focused on that too, which is called assets under management, AUM. I learned that term years ago and realized that that's the term that the wealthy people focus on. It's AUM, what assets under management you have. Not how much cash you have, but how much assets under management, because those assets are producing revenue for you, right? So it's definitely good that y'all exited. I did that in the beginning for sure as well. But if you keep it and are able to have someone like a team running it, then it takes it to another level, becomes more passive for you too.
100%, and that's actually a really good point. For our situation, the reason why we sold is because we actually got hired by a startup company as the main, basically mentors to coach their entire marketing department, right? So and actually down in Miami, Florida. So we used to get flown down to Miami and we would go up in these like high rises and we're teaching like a whole team of like marketing, like mentoring this whole entire team. So at that point we were like, all right, we didn't want to run the e-commerce business anymore. We wanted to kind of start getting into that space of teaching, coaching, and kind of managing stuff like that. So it was like a kind of a perfect transition for us. And that's kind of like where everything started, man. But
yeah, and it's been a wild journey to say the least, because that same company that took us on and hired us to train, like this is what allowed us to actually quit our jobs, right? So I'm sitting there working in Atlanta doing the 9-to-5 thing, and I get this call from Steven like, yo, they said it's a go, we're good. Tell your job you out of there. And I'm like, yo, say less.
Kicking down the doors, knocking over the desk, like, I'm out of this.
I barely even finished I barely finished the sentence. He was already, I'm gone. I'm out.
I'm out. So I put in my 2 weeks notice and I left in like a week because I was eager to get out of there. So anyway, we put all the stuff we had going on to the side and focused on this situation out here in Miami. And what ended up happening is the business went under within like 2 or 3 weeks. The owner died. They ended up getting a bunch of charges and all these different things happening. And it just literally put us back to square one. Right.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, at that point, we had literally no money coming in whatsoever. And we just had to figure it out, you know? And at that very moment, we had to make a decision. We had to make a decision. Do we want to go back to doing what we were doing before, working a 9 to 5? Or do we want to really just decide to still go for this and make this thing happen? And, that's what we did. We decided to truly make a move. When our back was against the wall, against all odds, we continued to push forward and started this marketing agency, brought on a client or two, got really good results for them. That turned into a bunch of other clients coming to us. And, along the way, we realized this is cool, doing the work for the people, like acquiring clients and then running ads for them and doing all the stuff for them. But we started to really realize that the true value that we could add was when we actually sat down with someone and taught them exactly what it was that we were doing. And that's when everything changed for our business.
There you go, pivoting as entrepreneurs do. There was a reel that I did once on IG, and it was an employee's worst nightmare or worst fear is losing a job. And an entrepreneur's worst fear is having to get a job. And I know exactly how that felt, man. It's like, damn, I don't want to go back to that 9 to 5 thing. Yo, I got to make this work some way or another.
Yes.
Well, it's so funny because when you're in that world, you're like, when you're like still in that 9 to 5 world, you're thinking like entrepreneurship is so risky, right? It's like, oh my God, it's so risky. It's so risky. It's so what happens if I don't make any money, right? Yeah. But when you finally get out of that situation and you become an entrepreneur, you become a business owner, you realize that it's actually the opposite. Having a job is risky.
Yep.
Because now, like your entire existence is now on, like someone else has the finger on the pulse.
Exactly.
Right? See, at least with an entrepreneurship, yes, it can be a rocky roller coaster ride. Don't get me wrong, but at least you're in control of the moves. You know what I mean? So it's actually less risky. So anyone out there right now that's kind of on the fence, you kind of feel it in your heart that you have that entrepreneurial spirit and you're trying to think about making that decision and you're feeling like what I just said, I'm letting you know right now, once you make that leap and you come over to the other side, you're going to realize like you have a lot more potential and you have a lot more power than you thought, right? Because the thing is, and I say this all the time, we all have this like elite version of ourselves inside of ourselves. Right. We have this great higher level version of ourselves that's like inside. But the problem is most people don't put themselves in an environment that allows that elite person to come to the top. Right. They're too afraid to put themselves in that environment, that do or die, that back against the wall, and that's what actually pulls that elite version of yourself out. So most people never put themselves in that environment. So that elite version of themselves stays inside all the time and they don't even know what their own power is.
And that challenges you even when you do make the leap to become an entrepreneur. There's been many times where I was making tons of money and then something crazy stuff happened, a perfect storm of bad stuff, and my back's against the wall again. And then it's like, okay, now I can keep pushing through. I've already survived before. I know it's going to be rough right now, but I'm going to thrive again. Right. So back against the wall is going to happen a lot, but I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that because when you in your 9 to 5, and listen, we're not trying to down anybody in their 9 to 5.
Nah,
you
definitely
love
not.
Your career, you want to be in it. That's your choice. Make sure you have multiple streams of revenue, though.
Facts.
But if you want to take this journey of being an entrepreneur, it's just a beautiful journey because when you go into it, it's like. It's exactly what you said in the beginning. I control my destiny a little bit more. If I'm in my 9 to 5 and, shit hits the fan and that rug is pulled from underneath me, I'm like, oh my God, I have no other revenue and I don't know what I'm going to do. And now you're scrambling. When shit hits the fan for an entrepreneur, you already know how to make money because you've been doing different things already, and you may got to pivot a little bit, but it's not going to be so crazy and foreign to you because you're already in it.
Exactly, man. Entrepreneurs are magicians. You know, we really are, because we have the ability to create infinite amount of money all through our creativity. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So for instance, like we wanted to go on a vacation to Miami. We wanted to bring the family down. So we were like, okay, how can we fund this vacation? We were like, yo, let's do our live event in Miami. Let's charge for the event. Let's sell some coaching packages. And we paid for our entire trip through our creativity by using our assets that we already have. So that's the thing about entrepreneurship. Once you get really good and have a particular asset that people desire, it's very easy for you to continue to make money. Just use your creativity, you know?
And then the entire trip is now a tax write-off, right? Everything from the Airbnbs to the food to the like everything. We're all writing it off. And like that's a smarter way to live, you know, but you have to like kind of have access to that type of idea for you to even think it's possible, right? Because I was on the phone actually down there in Miami. One of my friends called me and they were like, you know, talking about how they're going on all these trips. And it's like, it's amazing, but like, it's so expensive. I got to stop going on all these trips. Like it's draining my bank account. And I was like, well, bro, like, why don't you just like do some business while you're out there, write the whole entire thing off and get some money at the end of the year. And he's like, well, yeah, but like my job is like set up in a way, like I can't like do it. I can't write it off through my 9 to 5. It wouldn't work that way. I was like, well, bro, why don't you just create like a travel blog business, right? And then put up a website. And now like when you're traveling, like now your whole entire travel is for the blog. So which is a business. And now you can write the whole thing off. And he was like, yo, bro, I didn't even think about that. And I'm like, you got to be in the room, bro.
Y'all are messing up my whole episode because we ain't even talk about social media yet.
I know.
We're about to keep going deeper into a combo because here goes the next thing. I always say that, and then I'm saying it because it's true, not because it's opinion. The United States of America is not a country; it's a corporation, and it says it in the laws. And the reason I bring it up is because if it is a corporation, then you know the laws are written to benefit corporate entities. So you got to learn the game. I'm sorry. First, know that there's a game, but then learn the rules of the game so that you can play it too. And my big example of that for the last year now has been how Donald Trump buried his ex-wife on one of his golf courses. Because he found out from his accountant that if he does that, then the golf course is now classified as a cemetery and there's no estate tax, there's no property tax, can't be seized by the government. You see what I'm saying? You got to just learn how to navigate these rules, navigate this game and for your advantage, right? So
and by the way, if you don't think that there's a game being played, then you're the one being played.
Woo! That's the truth.
Back.
Okay. Let's stop because we could keep talking about.
We could go down the rabbit hole with that.
But let's go into the social media and social media growth hacks. Now, listen, I'm pretty sure I'm older than y'all. I remember there was a social media site called College Club. This is when I was in college. And College Club, y'all probably never heard of College Club. But College Club, that was the best, right? Well, it was the best for me because I had I got a job with them too. They went to all these different colleges and then they had people, they would hire people like me to go take pictures of other people. Then I would give them a card so that they can find their picture online. It's like, here's your picture is going to be in this number. You can search for it and then they could go online and find it. That was driving more people to the site. And it was just benefiting me. I was just taking pictures of beautiful women all the time. Every beautiful woman on campus knew me because it's like, oh, the guy taking the pictures for that social media thing. That's right. Then, that went away and there was like Black Planet. Then there was Mi Gente. Then eventually MySpace. I think there was one called High Five before that. MySpace, then Facebook, and it just kept going. What are your thoughts on social media in general first before we dig down on growth hacks? Like it came, from where it came to where it is now and where it's going overall.
You know what's funny, man? So I went to college for business management with a concentration in entrepreneurship. That's what I went to school for. And I recall one day being in a class that was talking about social media. And we were watching a video, and it's funny because when this thing, like when Facebook first started, when social media like really started to heat up, there were a lot of naysayers saying that this was just a fad, right?
Oh, yeah.
This was just a flash in the bucket, right? Like it's something that wasn't going to be sustainable. And it's really funny that you look at it today, and now all these businesses that were naysayers, they have to participate now.
Yeah.
Right. They absolutely have to. Like social media is literally the pulse of the world. Right. You have social media is so amazing because you literally have an audience of worldwide viewers that are tuned in and just looking for opportunities to consume. Right. Consume. We live in a consumer driven society. Right. So with like my opinion on social media is coming from an entrepreneurship perspective, right? You have an opportunity to get your content consumed by all of these massive consumers that are just looking for the next best thing to hop on to better your business, right? So when it comes to social media, like it's so incredible, and you compare it to back in the day, right? Like let's say you own a brick and mortar business, right? Like you own a shop. And this shop has specific hours. Yeah. You can't work 24/7 in the shop. That's too much manual labor. You got to go home. You got to close it down. You know, you got to spend time with your family. You got to do these things. But what that did was that limited the amount of hours that you could actually collect money, right? However, with social media now, that eliminates a lot of the brick and mortars out there because now you open 24/7. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You are open 24/7. So now that gives you the ability to now make money while you sleep. And when I tell you making money while you sleep, there's no feeling like it.
Ain't nothing like it.
It feels so good looking at the Stripe account in the morning and being like, oh, sale. Like I was sleeping. I was dreaming about sheep, you know, and
compare that to waiting for a check every 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a different paradigm, right? Because the thing is, I truly believe that this is the best time to ever be an entrepreneur ever in existence right now. I truly think that there is. And this is the best time to ever do it, man, because of that, because the social media has just made it so it's what it's done is it's broken down all the barriers of traditional business, right? Yeah. A lot of us, like growing up, they'll look at traditional business like he was talking about, like brick and mortars, where you have all these limitations and all these potential bottlenecks that stop you from scaling really fast, right? You have store hours. You're limited to probably a 25 to 30 mile radius, because outside of that, people are probably not going to drive that much further to come and see you, right? So you have that kind of bottleneck. But when it comes to social media and online and websites and making money online, all those barriers are gone.
Yeah.
So what that allows you to do is it allows you to see success a lot faster than you probably could have ever imagined with your logical mind thinking of how it used to be. Right. And that's one thing we have to train a lot of our students. Literally, a lot of times we're training our students, and yes, we're giving them a lot of marketing strategies and all this kind of stuff. But a lot of times we're just having to deprogram them just so we can allow them to accept and allow this type of success to happen to them, because they don't understand when it comes to online business, when it comes to like we run a lot of ads. And I tell people all the time, when it comes to running ads, your success has nothing to do with time. It has everything to do with strategy.
There we go.
Right? Because there are people who have come into our business or into our mentorship that have been running. I got a story for you. There's a lady named Lucretia. She had a business for 15 years. Okay. And she was still making less than $1,000 a month. All right. Still working her job, balancing things back and forth, 15 years in, still making less than 1,000. Okay. She came into our mentorship program. We showed her the right way to do things: ads, email marketing, text marketing, optimized her website, stuff like that. And then long story short, within, I want to say it's about 10 or 11 months since she met us, she was making 10K a month. Okay. So
15 years of 1K.
That's what I'm saying. I want you to really put that in perspective though, for real. Like I know it's just a story, but really put yourself in that position, working a business for 15 years, still making 1,000 a month. And then in less than a year, 10Xing that business. That proves to you right there that it has nothing to do with time. It has to do with your strategy, you know? So I just want y'all to know that if you're out here trying to do something and it's just not working, listen, I'm trying to tell you right now, working harder is not going to make it work any better.
Oh, ain't that the truth? Listen, I'm loving this conversation, y'all. I'm loving this conversation. Because you're hitting some, key notes for me, man. First thing that you just said, the last one you just said about not working harder. So I told y'all I'm from Jamaica, and there was a stereotype back in the day. I don't know if it still is. People would say, "Oh, Jamaicans have like multiple jobs, right? Like 3, 4, 5 jobs," and it was true. I had family members that was working, 3 jobs, 4 jobs at the same time, but they were still broke. They were still living check to check. So working harder couldn't be the recipe for success. That wasn't working for them. So you had to figure out, well, what is the recipe? You had to figure out how to break the constraints of your neighborhood, your family, your culture, in order to see what else is working for the people that you want to emulate, right? But here goes another thing. You guys it's ironic that in that very little brief conversation we're having right now, I've started to look at social media slightly different. The key word in social media is media. And I know from the acquisition side, a powerful acquisition is a media company. This is why Elon Musk went after Twitter and whatnot. Not just for the sake of it, but he would control media. Now he might regret it a little bit since Threads came out, but we won't talk about that. Who knows? But media is powerful overall. And when you look at Disney, when Bob Iger was CEO, their growth wasn't from the parks itself. It was from the media acquisitions that Disney made, the ESPNs, the ABCs, the Marvel Studios, all of those type of things. So media is powerful. And once we remember that social media is media, then you could use that power to help your business grow overall. So that's kind of like a different perspective that you just made me have.
It is, man. It is. Even Ted Turner with CNN, right?
Yes,
like
exactly.
That's where a lot of his wealth came from, CNN, and so, it's something here's the thing. It's not like an if, like like a should anymore, right? It's a must, right? Like Stevie was saying earlier, like it's not something that if you keep avoiding it, you're just really hindering your own success, and you're doing yourself a disservice and your family a disservice, right? Because if you're a business owner out here that your family is depending on you, and like you got to use the tools that are right in front of you, man. So social media organically is an incredible tool, but if you want to put the juice on it, all right, you want to put the real power behind it, that's when you start running ads, right?
Well, we might as well get into that now when we start talking about the growth hacks. So ads is one, but explain a little bit more how to grow in social media overall.
Yeah, man. I mean, so there's a lot of ways. I'll get it briefly into some ad stuff. I mean, I don't know where you want to go with it exactly, but I mean, ultimately, ads, so there's a lot of different ads platforms, right? We specialize in more of Facebook and Instagram ads because that's what we've been for almost nearly 10 years at this point. And we've scaled a lot of businesses doing it. And the reason why we love it so much is because of the sheer amount of data that Facebook has on its users is crazy, right? Yeah. It's such a powerful thing when you guys understand, people are trying to figure out why Facebook ads are so powerful. It's because Facebook has so much data on its users. Yeah. Did you guys know that Facebook has 52,000 data points on every single one of its profiles? 52,000. Think about that for a second, right? And I always say this, I can barely name 52 things about myself, right? And Facebook knows 52,000 things about you. So it knows when you watch videos, what types of videos you watch, how long you typically watch them, what type of links you click on, what's your activity off of Facebook. It knows all this information. Yeah. So from a consumer standpoint, yes, that's sounds terrifying. You know what I'm saying? It's oh my God, they didn't know everything. But all of us watching this video right now, we are business owners. And from a business standpoint, dude, that is absolute gold. And y'all should be tapping into that. So when we say go on Facebook and you start putting in some of them targeting and some of them interests, it's accurate. Facebook knows exactly how to hit the right people at the right time with the right product on the right placement, right? In order for you to get the best bang for your buck. And I'm telling you, if you're not taking advantage of Facebook ads right now, you are just in a deep coma.
You're sleeping for real. You are really sleeping. And I want to put something into perspective here for y'all. All right. We had an Instagram account because, and the reason I'm saying this is because I know a lot of people are like, no, like organic is the way to go. Let's do some content creation strategies and blow up organically. Let me do it like that. Right. And then I'm going to make all of this money. I'm here to tell you right now, the amount of followers that you have does not equate to the amount of dollars you have in your bank account. Okay? It does not. I'm gonna prove it to you right now. All right. So we had an account called Vamp Live Marketing. This was like our ad agency. That's what we named it, the ad agency, Vamp Live Marketing. All right. We created a 6-figure brand with Vamp Live Marketing with 500 followers on Instagram. Okay. 6 figures a year. 500 followers on Instagram. Yeah. Now, you would ask yourself like, dang, 500 followers. Like, how did y'all generate so much money on Instagram and Facebook? Like, how did y'all do it? And the answer to that is ads, right? We ran ads, and the ads is what allowed us to acquire new customers, right? So essentially, is it cool if I give them the breakdown of like how this pipeline works? Is it cool if I share some sauce with y'all? Okay,
let's get in.
Okay, let's get it in. All right, so here's the way that we do it. All right, the first thing that you have to do for your business, you have to come up with an irresistible offer of some sort, right? Something that people truly value. All right, package that up. Okay, we call it a lead magnet, right? A lead magnet is essentially where you create an irresistible offer that people cannot refuse, right? Create that, right? What that's going to do is that's going to allow you to collect more leads. Leads meaning emails and phone numbers, all right? So you create this irresistible lead magnet offer, all right? You essentially do that to collect more emails and phone numbers, all right? Now, the way that we do that lead magnet and the way that we start generating traffic into our lead magnet is through the ads, right? So what we'll do is we'll run an ad with the optimized targeting, right? We'll funnel the traffic from the ad to the landing page with the lead magnet. People love the offer so much and it's so irresistible that they're like, yo, I got to get this. Let me enter in my email, my name, and my phone number in exchange for that irresistible offer. So people exchange their data in exchange for some sort of offer that's going to make their life better, right? Yeah. We literally have run that play for the last 4 or 5 years, like clockwork, right?
The data is everything. And I want y'all to know that data is the most valuable resource in the world, right? It surpassed oil a few years ago, right? Oil is no longer it. Data is it, right? And that's why, like you said earlier, all these media companies or these $trillion companies, it's because they own all this data, right? And so you need to be thinking about yourself. Remember, always success leaves clues, right? If these massive companies are getting acquired for an unseen amount of money, right? And it's because they have all this data, well, then don't you think that the data is pretty important, right? And if the data is pretty important, don't you think that you should be collecting it as a business owner, right? Collecting data from your users is so important, right? That's one of the things we teach a lot, because at the end of the day, social media, this is a social media podcast like episode. It's great. But here's the thing. What happens if you build your IG up to 100,000 followers and then IG gets hacked? What happens if your Facebook account gets restricted? What happens if TikTok gets banned in the US, right? Like all this stuff happens on a regular basis, by the way. And we know so many people who've had 500,000 followers, their accounts gone overnight, right?
They didn't take their audience off of that platform.
Exactly.
You're gone. Like now, how are you going to reach your customers now? Right. And so you can't. But if you have a tangible list of all your customers, names, emails, phone numbers, right, in a CRM and a database, you can now reach out to them all and say, hey, listen, guys, I know my IG got hacked yesterday. It sucks, but it's cool. I'm still here. I'm over here. And actually, I'm running a sale today. Here, come get some stuff. Right. Your business can keep running. Right.
And that's one thing that we've done, too. Right. Like this isn't something that we're just saying like because it's a concept. This is actually something that we've been through. A couple years back, our Facebook business account that we were running that 6-figure business from got banned. Literally, Facebook dropped the hammer. We were in Facebook jail, couldn't access our ad accounts, couldn't do nothing, right? Now, for most people, that would have been a huge headache, right? For most people. For us, we were like, okay, luckily we've collected so many emails and so many phone numbers that all we had to do was create a new Facebook business account on a completely different profile, take our emails and phone numbers, insert them back into Facebook. Facebook recognizes them, and then Facebook can now go out and create something called a lookalike audience. You know what I'm saying? So let me educate y'all on a lookalike audience real quick. A lookalike audience is crazy, right? Let's say you collect 1,000 emails and phone numbers from like your buyers. Let's say you have a list of 1,000 buyers. And let's say that all of those buyers are interested in a particular thing, right? That they're interested in shopping with you. They're interested in your brand. They're interested in your niche, right? They have they're alike in many different ways.
Plus their age, their location, whatever it may be, all these attributes.
All of that, right? So you plug that into Facebook. Facebook has the ability to say, okay, I recognize these people. I recognize these data points. I know that all of these people are interested in your type of niche. So then you can tell Facebook, hey, Facebook, I want you to go out there and find millions of new people that are similar to those 1,000 people that have already shopped with you. And guess what? Facebook will do it.
And they do it incredibly well.
They'll give you millions of new people that you can now take and run new ads to that are similar to the people that have already shopped with you. So what do you think happens when you run an ad to those people that are similar to your buyers?
They're most likely to convert into
more money. More money. Yeah. It's crazy.
I'm telling you, we've probably made more money from lookalike audiences than any other type of audience. Right? Like that's a crazy, powerful strategy, man. So y'all use that, man, but start collecting your data ASAP, because until you start collecting a list, you really are like a sitting duck, Like I want all my business owners out there to know you are a sitting duck and you're very, very vulnerable if you don't have a list, because if Facebook slams the gavel on you, boom, you're done overnight, And plus, here's the thing. When you collect your emails and phone numbers, and you can now start doing email and text marketing, right? And when you start doing that on a regular basis, you're gonna make way more money, right? There's a stat that we read recently that for every $1 you spend on email marketing, you'll make an average of $36 back, right? And for text marketing, for every $1 spent on text marketing, you'll make an average of $71 back, right? So I equate that as like seeing like an ATM where if like every time I walk in and I put $1 into this ATM, it spits out $71, right? That's how I look at it. And it's like, bro, if you ever seen that ATM, like, would you ever leave that ATM? Like, no way. Like, bro, I'm in that parking lot right now. Like, I'm not even on this.
I'm gonna sleep in the car and just watch it and go back to it every night.
You know what I'm saying? So now knowing that and knowing that's what the average return on investment is for text marketing, right? You knowing that and not doing text marketing is the equivalent of you walking past that ATM every single day.
There we go. You guys again keep like perspective is just an amazing thing because, I'm in the space. I know all the stuff you're talking about, but the way that you're articulating it made me change my perspective even slightly more, because when I read the word social media growth hacks exposed, that's the topic of this episode, I'm thinking of how to grow your social media. But you don't need to grow your social media in terms of the followers in order to be fruitful.
No.
But utilizing social media to grow your business is the concept. It's a perspective that we should really have. Not just to grow my following for the sake of growing that, but using it to grow my business and revenue. If we keep that at the forefront, I think that changes everything.
That's big, man. The followers are what we call vanity metrics.
Yes.
Right. People like so many people that are focused on vanity metrics, followers, clicks, comments, right? And us as business owners, we're only focused on revenue, right? Like, does it convert, right? Like there's so many people. We have friends that have over 1 million followers on TikTok and they're not monetizing at all.
It's really crazy. Like I'm not even going to name the name, but there's a very popular TikToker out there who has over 1 million followers, and we came up with him, right? And I hit him up one day and I was like, bro, like, because we're always looking to help, right? We're always looking to help because we know that a lot of big brands have this problem. They have the followers, but they're not making any money. So I just asked him, like, yo, bro, you got over 1 billion followers. What are you doing to make money? How are you making money? And he was like, bro, you know what? I'm not really making any money off of this following. And that goes to show you that these vanity metrics can work. But if you're not taught the right system and pipeline to get people to go through, you're not going to convert and you're not going to monetize. So honestly, I really wasn't surprised that this man didn't monetize, because how would he have known?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How would he have known? How would a lot of these influencers know that there's Facebook ads and there's lead magnets and they can focus on growing their list? A lot of them just don't know. They're unaware. So it's a lack of knowledge, and people perish due to lack of knowledge, right? So our job is to actually go out there and spread this knowledge of lead magnets and how to grow your list and all these amazing things, because it's done amazing things for not only us, but for other businesses that we work with as well.
Because at the end of the day, they're principles that work, right? Yeah. Same way that like the earth has principles, right? Like gravity and like all these like principles of like physics and things that are just working no matter what, no matter who, no matter where you're at, no matter what country, these principles work, right? Gravity's always working, right? Have you ever been in a place where you just threw something up in the air and it just stuck in the air, right? Like never.
Space Center.
That's about it, right? Like gravity's always working no matter who the person is. And these principles that we're talking about, like, again, the psychology of pulling people into a funnel and following up with them either through email sequences, retargeting sequences, whatever it might be, and understanding the rules of psychology. These are principles that work, not just for us, not just for you. They will work no matter who buys it.
And those things, that's a perfect example, because those things existed before social media. It's just now in different forms, right? So it's still the core concept that works, right? It's just now you're taking advantage of the new way that it's presented and the new way that you get more reach overall, right? So 100%. I'm gonna give y'all a quick, I guess you want to call it tip. I was just talking about this recently, and it's so one, there's two tips. One is that what I've done, and some of my students have done as well in the BBI, where I teach all the acquisition strategies and such, is $0 traffic assets. If I know how to acquire a business with no money out of my pocket, that's great. I'm getting a cash flowing business, right? But you could also use those principles to acquire a social media site. Meaning I could go find that one TikTok page of the guy that you just mentioned. And let's say that page was I love dogs, and I have a dog accessory company. Now, he wasn't making no money with that I love dogs page with 1 million followers. And most likely those 1 million followers, a good portion of them love dogs, most likely, right? Mm-hmm. So now I know that's my ideal target audience. And I can say, hey, I'd love to acquire the rights to manage this site. You can't buy it because TikTok technically still owns it. But imagine you acquire the rights to manage it. You get the administrative rights. Maybe you're exchanging some money or something else from him. And he's going to be, oh, cool. I wasn't making no money off of it anyway. Mm-hmm. Now you don't got to run ads. Mm-hmm. I got my ideal customer audience right there, and I can target them directly. So I just bought a customer list of 1 million, people that I can market to right away. But here go the second tip. Real quick. What I've done in the past also is a mixture of influencer marketing and what you guys are talking about with the custom audiences, or the lookalike audiences. So I will have my pixel set up on my page. Let's use the same dogs, I love dogs example. I have my pixel. I did an influencer campaign with your friend who has 1 million followers, who is a I love dogs page. And then he runs some ads on there, some posts on there. And then it drives some traffic to my page, and my pixel is there capturing all that data of all the people that's coming, who converted, who didn't convert. This is cheaper than running ads, because influencer marketing tends to be cheaper than running ads and doing a lot of testing and stuff before you can refine it. Mm-hmm. But now I've collected a ton of data with like 10,000 people that visited and maybe 1,000 converted. And now I go take that and create the lookalike audience.
Create the lookalike. But here's one thing that Fashion Nova does a lot. And we got to run soon. But I just want to I want to point this out. Fashion Nova is really good because they don't run a lot of initial ads to acquire new customers. They focus heavily on influencer marketing, right?
Yes.
So the influencers drive the traffic to Fashion Nova, but because they practice retargeting strategies on Facebook, the only ads that they run are retargeting strategies, meaning that let's say you visit a website and you leave, and a minute later you see ads popping up everywhere from that same brand. That's retargeting. So to me, that's a gold strategy as well of utilizing influencer marketing initially, get people into your world, and then retarget them to familiarize them with the brand.
It's just about making sure that the influencer marketing definitely has the influence that you think they do.
Yep.
And that's something that you got to get really good at, is understanding the engagement score and understanding that it's actually worth the investment. Because sometimes, you invest into somebody who has 5 million followers, but 4 million of them are just bots or fake profiles. And that's how you kind of get the okie doke sometimes with those influencer campaigns. But if you be careful, like if you do your due diligence, influencer marketing is very, very powerful when done strategically.
Due diligence, that's important in everything, including business acquisitions for sure. So we got to jump right real quick into popping this industry, popping social media growth hacks, right? We exposing it, so now we're going to pop it. Just give me the top pro, opportunity, and problems that we would face when we're trying to grow our social media in order to grow our business.
Okay, so I'll start with the pro. All right, so the biggest pro that you have when it comes to growing your social media and just being on social media in general is the eyeballs, right? You have the ability, because keep this in mind, social media has over 3 billion people on social media, right? And the beauty of that is you have all this opportunity to reach those people, but in all actuality, you only need a small sliver of people, right? We call it the 1,000 true fans concept, all right? And basically what this means is if you get 1,000 true fans to spend $100 with you over the course of the year, you're now making 100K for the year, right? So a pro for social media would be the fact that you have all of these eyeballs on your brand. You only need 1,000 of them to make 6 figures a year.
Yeah, and I'd say an opportunity is leverage, right? Yes. Like it's so much leverage in so many ways because you can now reach so many people without even leaving your house, right? Like it blows my mind how lazy some people have become, right? They're just like if you knew what it was like, and I don't even know what it's like because I'm not that old yet, but like imagine trying to grow a business in like the 60s or the 70s. Yeah. Like what you had to do, like riding around handing out business cards from city to city, like dude, that was tough. Yeah. Now you can literally reach millions of people by sitting behind your laptop and just slap on people's phones, right? So the opportunity is you can now reach so many more people for so little amount of money. Like you would be surprised if we showed you our metrics inside of our Facebook account, like the amount of people we're reaching for like pennies it's ridiculous, right? So just the awareness and the leverage is the opportunity. I think the problem then becomes the playing field is leveled, right? The opportunities are not just here for us; they're here for everybody, right? And that's like the natural order of things, right? As opportunities become challenges, and equal challenges and obstacles will also rise with it. Right. So because social media is such an incredible opportunity for us, it's also an opportunity for everyone else, meaning there's a lot more noise. Right.
Yeah, and I would say this too with the problem, because it's such an equal playing field, there's certain people that are outliers that happen to rise above. And with great power comes great responsibility. And I'm seeing a lot of people online that are not using integrity when it comes to marketing their services, and they're scamming people, and they're stealing money, and they're doing all of these different things, right? So that's a big problem with social media because people are abusing their power and not operating with integrity and scamming. Like, and we've dealt with it for years, right? Like running an e-commerce store, trying to operate with integrity, and Facebook kind of poo-poos on e-com because they're scammer e-commerce companies that are accepting money but not delivering the product. There's coaches out there that are scamming people but not delivering the product, right? So that's one of the problems with social media. So you just have to be very careful about who you put your trust in as well.
Definitely. Yeah. So it doesn't mean you avoid social media. It just means you got to be wary of these things so that you could prepare for them overall. Yeah. I love it. So guys, I do have little gifts for you all, right?
Oh, okay.
Time
Christmas
is
in July. Christmas in July. Let's go.
Christmas in July. Christmas in July. All right, team, let's get the first gift up. Let's see what we got. Now, I thought you guys were in a different location, but y'all are actually in Florida. But let's see if we have the gift. Oh, Lord, the gift is not ready. It's not able to go up. Okay, we're going to have to send it direct. I'm going to tell you what it is then, and we're going to send it to you. Now, the location is different because I don't know why I thought you guys were like in Midwest, like Illinois or something like that, but it's still the same concept.
No, we down here sweating with you, bro.
I know, right? Sweating in it. And yo, it's about to be, this heat wave is crazy right now, but that's a whole different discussion. The first thing that we have for you is it's a social media marketing agency, a digital social media marketing agency for sale. I can't recall the price on it right now, but I wanted to present this to you because I believe this would help you all in, if you acquired something like that and rolled it into your existing business, now you've scaled your business by that percentage of the revenue that's coming in on this one. Now, this is something I'm just going to give to y'all. I'm going to give you the links to contact the people, the seller. Maybe it's something you're interested in, and then y'all can pursue on your own. If you want my help, I do have a company that can help you called Capital Beez. We help with acquisitions as well. Plus BBI, where we teach people how to do it themselves. Because just like you, like both of y'all, I prefer to teach people to fish rather than fish for them. But we got 2 businesses available for you guys that we're sending. One is a lower cost, the other one is higher. But it comes with multiple employees, comes with revenue right away, comes with customer lists right away that you can target immediately. Day one, when you take over the business, revenue is coming in, cash flow is coming in. Is that something that y'all would be interested in acquiring a business and scale it in order to scale your current ones?
So we definitely would be interested in acquiring a business. I think for us right now, a social media marketing agency acquiring something like that, we're kind of like the anti-agency guys over here, to be honest with you. Like because we believe in empowering. That does not mean that there's not a place for social media marketing agencies. So we would just kind of have to look at what that looks like and what the facets of the business were, for us to want to pursue something like that. But we are interested in business acquisition in general. Yes, we are definitely interested in that for sure.
But I could see that being something, because the thing is also the other side of getting mentored. Some people, yes, they want to get mentored and learn how to run ads so they don't never have to hire an agency. But some people, they do want to hire an agency, but they just want to be educated first. Yeah. That way they know how to hire the right agency and they can hold those agencies accountable. Right. So it could be something like that. Could be a tucked off version of RFA, like to help those types of people, and we can transition them over. So I think there's opportunity.
It gives you multiple offers, right? Levels and offers. They could upsell, all that type of stuff. So, all right, perfect. Well, I'm glad that y'all are interested in it. And the irony is I don't always go for the vertical or the horizontal integration with the specific company I already have. I got some random stuff that is completely unrelated, but they're cash flowing and they're turnkey. So I don't got to work in it. That's the next key, right? I'm not trying to buy myself a job. I'm trying to buy cash flow. Right. So I'm going to have my team send you those 2 deals that you can take a look at. You have all the info. And of course, if y'all need my help, whether learning it or executing on it, I got your back for sure. All right.
Sounds good, brother. Sounds good.
So listen, this has been a great conversation. The last thing I got to say to y'all is I have a challenge called the $1 Trillion Table Challenge. The $1 Trillion Table with a T challenge. Now, with this challenge, I want to sit in a room at a table with people who look like us. And we have $1 trillion AUM. Remember, I mentioned that assets under management. So we're going to have $1 trillion collective AUM. Now, that sounds big to some people. It's like, wow, that's crazy. It ain't. Because imagine if you acquired that $5 million company and now you roll it under yours. Now your company is worth yours plus the 5 million. Then you take the combined resources and said, hey, let me go for that 50 million. Now you roll it under. Once you know how to acquire a business, you just keep rinsing and repeating. And now your business is scaling astronomically. And it ain't too long before you hit that $1 billion mark. And we all hit it. and then we have $1 trillion AUM. My question to y'all is, will you be at that table with me?
Oh yeah, bro. We got to be at that table. You know, we
100%.
got to be at that table, man. It's not a matter of you know, if, it's a matter of like when, and the when would be like we're moving towards that right now. We're moving towards that, absolutely. And honestly, it's already happened. I'm a firm believer in energy and manifestation. Honestly, that's already happened. We sitting at the table with you right now, man.
Let's go. That's what I love to hear. That's what I love to hear. Listen, guys, it's been awesome. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing these gems, sharing this information, this insight on growth and perspective. That's been the biggest thing for me, sharing that perspective, because when you start changing your perspective a little bit, it changes everything else for you, your growth, your opportunities, and all. Tell the people where's the best place to reach you whenever they want to connect with you for consultations or more.
Yeah, man. So it's Rich from Anywhere everywhere, pretty much. So go to IG, YouTube, richfromanywhere.com. We have a bunch of different resources out there that y'all can really start tapping into when it comes to Facebook ads. And also we have, speaking of challenges, we have a challenge called the Grow Your List Challenge. And this is a 3-day live virtual event where we literally are teaching a small group of people all of our strategies on how to grow lists and how to monetize their list. And some of the results that we're getting in these challenges are incredible. And people are leaving with thousands of leads collected. They're making money by the time they left the challenge. They're feeling empowered. And it's all done virtually. You can do it from anywhere in the world. And hey, maybe you can share the link, with people in the description if they want to join that. But that would be the best place for you to come and really experience RFA for the best way, because we're gonna melt y'all's faces off during those 3 days. If y'all thought this was even halfway good, wait till y'all see these challenges, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, go to our IG and look at our highlights, and you can see the testimonials from our past challenges if you don't believe what he's saying right now. It really goes down in there.
All right, y'all heard it here. Rich from Anywhere, everywhere, right? And that's how y'all can tap in with my guy Blackburn and Stephen Johnson, and they'll take you to that next level. All right, so everybody, you already know what it is. It's time. You got to make sure that you have liked and subscribed and you turn on the notification bell. And if you're listening to this on a podcast platform, make sure you're saving that and sharing it with others. Get the word out. You don't want to miss conversations like this where we just expose social media growth hacks for the entire industry. I'll see y'all on the next episode. Shout out to y'all, Mr. Blackburn, Mr. Johnson. Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Likewise, brother. Anytime, man.
For sure.
Thank you.